How have you been, my friend?
Well, not bad, not bad.
Good. I understand you're going to be in Illinois later on this week, huh?
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be there, 5th to the 8th.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You are on your way out east, as I recall. I was talking to Mary Simon last weekend.
Yeah. Well, I went to Chicago and had to come back because of an audition today, early this morning. And then I go to New York and go through Chicago and Peoria on the way back.
So you intend to stop by the theater again, I understand.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place, and a couple of days away from the madding crowd would be good.
Yeah. It's about a year ago, I guess, when you were at Conklin's.
Yeah, it's about a year, yeah.
Yeah, and now every time I see a MASH rerun, I watch it with all sorts of new insight. Do you realize?
Well, I hope so.
we had a good time working with you. In fact, it was a nice thrill for me because I was in the show that followed yours with Bernie Coppell.
Oh, yeah.
And we sat around and you read Bernie's part at the table. And
Oh, yeah, I remember.
got to know you. And in fact, we had a birthday party in studio with a gigantic cake, as you'll recall.
Yeah, it was like a cupcake with one candle.
You do remember, yes. Well, the point of the matter is, Josh Taylor is there now, and you're going to try to catch the show, I understand, sometime.
Yeah, I want to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like say hello.
I Hate Hamlet is the name of the show.
Yeah, it's very funny.
You were classically trained in the theater, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah, I was Royal Academy in London.
So Shakespeare is nothing new for you.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know. It's you go to college or university and you study something. Maybe you don't. Maybe you never use it again. But happily, I did.
Yeah, I saw the show this past weekend, and if anybody thinks it's like I have to really like Shakespeare to like the show, that's not true. There's hardly any Shakespeare in it. It's
just it's basically John Barrymore's ghost terrorizing a young actor, and it's a very funny show.
Yeah.
And the fellow wrote one other, and then he died, unfortunately.
So that's about it from him, then.
Yeah, he's got two, and this one was, very, very funny.
Yeah.
And the second one was a bit darker. It's about AIDS, and I can't remember the name of it, but the guy was a hell of a writer.
Yeah. Did you have any fire close to your house?
Yes.
How close, Larry?
Well, pretty damn close. I could walk out in the street and watch it.
Oh.
I mean, there were like two of them, and one Altadena, one Pasadena.
Yeah.
And but I'm down in the flats where it's like safe, not up in the hills.
So it's not like the house next to yours burned or anything?
No,
yeah.
But I mean, they were in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty scary stuff.
Oh, yes.
Well, just a little visit here with a former Conklin star, and maybe someday you'll be back again. I hope so.
Yeah, I would like to.
Be in another show out there, and in the meantime...
I enjoyed it very much, and my cat misses the place.
Yeah.
I think he caught 2 mice while he was there. Something really important, Rennie.
Yeah, I think Josh has a cat, too, or something.
Oh, yeah.
Both you guys are cat lovers.
Yeah, I like cats.
Yeah.
Very much like women.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Do we want to get into the similarities here, or just?
I mean, they're independent and they're kind of very feminine and affectionate when they want to be, and when they don't want to be, they're not.
Yeah. Speaking of women, I don't know if I should bring this up or not. That whole business of that publicity thing that you were involved in less than a year ago now. Would you like to explain exactly what happened?
Yeah. Well, she asked for the photograph, and she got it, and then she sat there and got very drunk.
Yeah.
And then ran off to the police and made a charge, and then sent the photograph immediately to the tabloids because the journalist friend of hers who took the picture had ghostwritten a book for her about how difficult it is to grow up in life with large breasts. So she was attempting to get on talk shows and sell her book. But
so that was it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was your publicity guy that was trying to make publicity for you.
No.
No?
There's possibly 800, 900 of those pictures like that around the world anyway.
Yeah.
Because I was just in Chicago, and there was some woman that came up and wanted a picture taken with me, and I said, okay, fine. And she wanted a similar picture, and I said no.
Yeah.
And so to compensate, she just pulled her top off.
In Chicago?
Yes.
And there was another picture taken?
Well, I suppose, but, my hands were in my pockets.
Well, that's
But if what's-its were in plain view, you know.
yeah. Well, the weird thing is here, it's when you're a celebrity, I suppose you can be you have to watch where you're going and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess, huh?
absolutely. I mean, somebody can ask you for something, and you say, well, that's a little weird, okay. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's being used for other purposes.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the listeners or whatever the hell, I mean, there was like, the cops got into it because of the charge up there in Canada, and the Canadian law is very strict compared to ours. And they interviewed 45 to 60 people that were present.
Yeah.
And they gave their material to the Crown prosecutor up there in Manitoba, and he said, this is stupid, and he threw it out.
But it was not a publicity stunt as far as your...
No, not for me.
Yeah.
You know, for her, because, you know, she wanted some publicity, and the next week she did it to somebody else up there,
Yeah.
a politician, so...
Well, you're a fun guy to visit with, and I don't like to see that kind of stuff happen to anybody. They get dragged into a court proceeding or whatever.
No, but, you know, it does happen, and, you know, because I don't do that.
Yeah, that's why Billy Graham has to have somebody go into the every hotel room before he walks in, I guess.
Yeah, I think, because there might be somebody in the closet to pop out and somebody in another closet with a camera.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that stuff does go on, but just a big piece of silly.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to visit with you a little bit and remind folks that you never know who you might see out at Conklin's these days.
No, I'm going to be in the audience this weekend and watch the show because I'd like to do it myself sometime. And would like to see what they've done with it.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll enjoy it. I certainly did last weekend, and
Good.
maybe I'll get a chance to meet you again in person sometime.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hang on, Larry, will you?
Hey, listen, when I'm in there, you know, if I get the exact dates and times and whatever, maybe we can do a show.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Larry Linville, hang on a second, okay?